Well, hey, YTPC, this is Dave coming to you from the paddock here in Southern Maryland. It is Thursday, February 1st, and it's about 3:20 in the afternoon. Hey guys, this is going to be a three-part video. The first part is going to be a continuation of my smoking the Burley blends from Uncle Willie. The second part is going to be a discussion of meerschaum pipe ownership, and that is really as a response to a bunch of questions I got from Pipe Monkey. And then the third is going to be a discussion of what are you willing to get dirty for? What are you willing to do that takes you out of your comfort zone? So those are the three parts today. So some of today was spent actually doing some paddock updates. Part of it was just cleaning it. I haven't done that before, and so I cleaned the bathrooms and I vacuumed the carpets, and I started to install, I don't know if you can see it back there, but right back there I'm starting to install my printer. I installed a Bluetooth speaker and got it configured correctly and just started straightening the place up. So it's pretty functional now. So now it's a matter of getting things cleaned up. Like, for example, this little work table I still have sitting here and it's just full of junk. So I just want to get this. I don't deal well with stuff like that just sitting around. In fact, I want to get all that put away and then get the table put together. There's the printer stand, but there's some manufacturing quality issues I'm dealing with. But it just felt good. It felt good to get over here today and just spend time in the paddock. Last times I come over here with a bunch of things I got to do, but today was just come over, and it's a great fortress of solitude for me. I don't get visitors here too often, so it's a good place to come and shut all the doors, and it doesn't matter what the weather's doing. And I kind of get away from everybody, and I like that. I'm not sure I knew about that about myself until I started creating this place and realized how much I enjoy being here. So it's been a good day in the paddock. So as always, it's the Maryland meerschaum today, and what is in it? What is in it is the third installment of Uncle Willie's Burley. Are you a Burley Man? So there you go. That's what's in it. Daughters in Ryan Ryback. And so just as a quick redo, we had the mystery blend, which we then figured out was haunted bookshelf. Yesterday was day 2, Heinz blend. Loved the haunted bookshelf. Enjoyed the Heinz blend. I don't like this. It's a shade cut. It's super, super fine. It's dry. It tastes dusty in my mouth. So you guys are gonna ask, well, why don't you like it, right? I just don't like it. I mean, I've told you my mouth is either thumbs up or thumbs down. Haunted bookshelf, thumbs up. Heinz blend, fair to middling, thumb sideways, thumb 45-degree up. Daughters in Ryan Ryback, down right now. Now I'm gonna jar this. I'm gonna keep it. I'm not gonna throw it out. But currently, today, 1 year into my pipe journey, I'm 2 for 3 on Burley Man. So I didn't just toss this out after smoking it for a minute. I tried 2.5 bowls of it today. I'm gonna give it the 86, and I'm gonna go with one I like, Boswell's Premium Burley. That way I stay in the Burley family, but as I talk to you, I'm gonna smoke something I know my mouth likes. Back in a minute. And what am I drinking today? I'm gonna go with some Sugarland Shine. So this is moonshine. It's root beer flavored. In fact, it's gonna be a palate cleanser for me to get the rye back out of my mouth. So here's the little palate cleanser. pretty good. The smell, it really smells like root beer. The taste is not, taste is okay. It's not my favorite. The apple's my favorite. So I'm gonna light this with my Uncle Willie lighter. Oh, hey, and guys, look what I did. I got the Uncle Willie gasket on that thing. I'm gonna light it. I'm gonna give it a couple seconds. Maybe get that smell out of there. So the tip of letting this burn for 2, 3, 4 seconds before you stick it over your pipe is quite helpful. So there we go. Still in the Burley family. Still using the Uncle Willie lighter. Got the Uncle Willie gasket on there. So still on it. All right, so I spent about another 30, 40 minutes reaming this pipe again. That's 3 days in a row I've reamed it. And then I sanded it with that 600 grit sandpaper. I've got this thing pretty much almost down to brand new. Another day or two, when the pipe reamers get here, I'm using that Uncle Willie's tool that he gave me. I'm using this guy. It's got this nice little blade on it. This works great. I just think this isn't meant to restore a pipe, which is really what I was doing, and I didn't realize it. That Boswell's Premium Burley is pretty good. I do like this a lot. And somebody helped me out. It is cake. That was the word I was looking for. So I've been reaming the cake out of this. I can't believe it. I can't believe how much was in there. Okay, so one of the questions, it really came from Pipe Monkey, but I thought it was a good enough question I would answer it. What's the difference from, what are some keys to owning the meerschaum? And then what is it like smoking this versus a Brier? And I'm not the greatest person to answer it because I've smoked 90% of my bowls in this meerschaum or the Wyoming meerschaum. But I have smoked a few bowls in the Missouri meerschaum, the corn cob, and I have smoked some of mine in regular Brier pipes. And what I'll tell you is one of the biggest differences is I got a big bowl. I did that on purpose. This is a pretty big pipe, and it fits really nicely in my hand. And to get a Brier this size is possible, but most of my Briers are a little bit smaller. So I like the bigger bowl. I like the bigger handle. The other thing is this heats up probably 50% of what a meerschaum does. Somehow the venting, the airflow of a meerschaum keeps this pipe much cooler. Now, as I've traversed this year, I've learned to not chooch it. I sip it now, and I sip it a little more slowly. So maybe I should try that with my Briers as well. But I'll tell you, this heats up much slower. And when it does get warm, it dissipates the heat much quicker than a Brier does. The next thing is, for me, now that I know, it's much easier to tell if this pipe is clean or not than a Brier. because the Brier, you want the cake on it. So is it clean and really down to good cake? It's hard for me to tell in a Brier. In this one, is the inside of the bowl pretty much white. You can see the buildup, and it's much easier. And so, do I need to ream it? Do I need to sand it, or do I just need to clean it with my my 150? No, what is it? The Everclear. And so that's another difference that I would have with the meerschaum. The other thing I would say that's much different is the lack of ghosting. I have smoked literally everything in here that I own. All the tobacco that I smoked in this pipe. And I can switch from Boswell's Cherry Vanilla to Boswell's Premium Burley and back and forth in the same day, in the same hour, and there's just no ghosting in this pipe. So Pipe Monkey, you said you've already heard the lesson learned about don't let cake build up in this. The other thing I'll say is I think they're fragile. Now, I've not dropped my pipe, so I don't know, but I would warn you against putting this on a stack of anything you're going to carry. Make sure this goes into the case if you're going to go anywhere outside of your smoking place, wherever you smoke. And certainly if you're going to travel with it in a car or in a backpack or on the airplane or in a suitcase, make sure you put it in the case that it comes in. Otherwise, I do think it's easily damaged. And certainly never carry it in a manner that could fall off. Fall off if you're carrying a stack, it falls off and onto the floor. I've heard several people have shattered theirs or cracked theirs. I wouldn't call it fragile, but I think it's much more fragile than Brier. So I told you I've done 3 days of reaming with this thing, and I think I was overworking this tool. I don't think it's a restoral tool. I think it's to take some minor cake out of your bowl. So somebody else recommended that I try a senior's pipe reamer, so I have that on order. So I might do a final ream with that in this bowl as well. Pipe Monkey, you're probably far more familiar with smoking than I am, but having the right tool to ream this out, I think, is going to be critical to keeping it open. And I still don't know where I am on waxing. I mean, I've seen several people say I've never waxed my meerschaum ever. And I've heard other people say I wax it every couple days. So I don't know. I've waxed this a few times. I mean, it makes it feel good in my hand. It gives it a slight sheen. But does it help or hinder the coloring process in any way? I just don't know. But my recommendation, if you want to wax or not, is don't wax. I bought the wax I'm using, that little cube of wax. I keep it right here. I bought this from Meerschaum Market, from the same place I bought the pipe, so I believe it's the right wax. But maybe after you've smoked it for a year, I don't really know, but I don't recommend waxing your pipe. I'm not saying don't do it, but I don't recommend it. The other thing I'll recommend is a directional pipe lighter over the Zippo, even with the pipe insert. So that's really it. It doesn't ghost. It stays cool. It cools off quicker. Keep it reamed. Use a directional lighter. Soft flame. These will char. You can see a little bit up here. Now, with a little bit of sanding, a little bit of Everclear, I keep the rim pretty clean, but it will char, it will burn. So that's why I recommend these, certainly over the torches, and really probably even over the Zippo lighter. Guys, that's really it for my review of a meerschaum pipe versus a Brier at this point. I'm probably one of the worst guys to have this conversation, but you asked directly, and several of you've asked about what's it like to own a meerschaum. So there it is. I'm probably the most junior guy in the pipe community still. I mean, I've got 1 year this month. It's February now, so I'm coming up on any day now 1 year of my pipe journey. I was a cigar guy years and years ago. So, but there you go. That's my answer. You asked a great set of questions, and those are my answers. They may be wrong, but they're mine. So guys, we're into part 3 now of the video today. So I'm going to tell you a story. the label I put on it is kind of a little confusing. So at the beginning of the video, I said part 3 would be, what are you willing to get dirty for? What takes you out of your comfort zone? So here's the story. What the hell does that mean, Dave? Well, yesterday it was a little chilly, and I knew my wife and I like a fire in the fireplace in the evening. We don't have a fireplace insert or anything. We just have a regular fireplace that I put regular wood logs into and light them and have a regular wood burning fire, not wood pellets. I'm not trying to heat the house with it. I'm trying to have ambiance, right? I'm just trying to have a nice fire in the evening with my wife. We like the crackling, we like the smell. But I didn't have any, so I keep 5 cords of wood stacked in the back on racks in the back of the property, and I have this giant, like 20 by 20 tarp over it. And I bought it maybe 3-4 years ago, and I've probably burned a little more than half of it. We just haven't had we haven't had winters here in Maryland for a couple of years now. But I didn't have any, so I move it up from the 5 cord stack to, I stack maybe half a cord in the garage so that I can just go in and out from the house to the garage as I want to build a fire. And I didn't have any, and my wife and I said, hey, maybe we'll have fires the next few weeks. So I was out doing that move. In fact, I did a firewood move on an old vid. I can't remember what number it was. I just stack it on the back of my truck, the big F-250, the Beast. And then I back it into the garage, and that way it acts like a table. I can just pull it off. But it's a relatively dirty job. And just removing the tarp with all the rain on it and all the leaves and just, animals get under there. It's a dirty job. And so my sweatshirt was kind of wet and it was dirty, and my pants are wet and dirty. And my neighbor came by and said, my God, you must really like fires. You really go through this giant pain in the ass process. You get wood delivered, you stack it, you cover it, you move it onto the truck, you back it into your garage, you unload it, there's a little bit of mess in the garage, and then you got to carry it in the house. You must really like fires. And that got me thinking, because the answer was yes, it's worth it to me to go through all that, to have a nice fire in the evenings during the wintertime. It's worth it to go through all that for me so that I can have a fire at the fire pit, and we can do fireside chats in the backyard. If you've been following my channel at all, you've seen me do fireside chats in Wyoming, and you've seen me do fireside chats at my fire pit out back in the Wyoming, in the Maryland house. So I had 2 thoughts with it. One was, I'm really not that dirty. I got work gloves on. They go in the truck when I'm done. And I got a dirty sweatshirt and a dirty pair of pants. I mean, I can throw them in the washing machine and have them done in an hour. So one, I didn't think I was that dirty, and I didn't think it's that pain in the butt. But the second thing it made me think was, I don't think my neighbor has anything in his life that he's willing to go get dirty for. What are you willing to go get soaked for? What are you willing to do that takes you out of that daily routine, that daily comfort zone, and get dirty so that you can do X, whatever it is? And a good example is, I like those evening fires. And I'm willing to get a little bit soaked, a little bit dirty, get a little bit out of the comfort zone, do something I don't really want to do, which is move the firewood, in order to have a couple hours, 2, 3, 4 hours every evening in the wintertime with my wife with a fire. It's worth it to me. And so That's one answer. That's one example of what would you get dirty for? What would you come out of your comfort zone for in order to have it or accomplish it? Anyway, I just had the other thought that how sad to have a life where nothing in your life anymore is worth getting dirty for, getting soaked for. That made me want to talk about it today because I wonder, I don't need to know the answer. Like everything else I do on this video or these videos is, I don't need to know the answer, but you do. I don't expect you to VR me back or comment yourself out. That's not what I'm trying to do. The question is, what's your fire? What's your evening fire? What's the thing that takes you out of your comfort zone, out of your daily routine, and probably causes a little bit of stress, or a little bit of dirt, a little bit of wetness, whatever. What do you like enough to get off the couch, if you want a different way to say it? And the only problem I would have is if you say nothing. You know, that you've developed a pattern in life where there's really nothing that'll draw you out of your comfort zone. I think that's unhealthy. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters, are you happy, right? How many times have I said that? So this is sort of this is an ancillary video to the, do you love your life, and how's the year going, and are you making the changes? And then here's Dave once again asking that question, and so what is it? Again, I don't need to know the answer, but you do. What do you love in your life enough to get out of your comfort zone, to get dirty for? That's it. That's the whole point of this third part of the video. Well, guys, I think that's it. Look at that. That's CJ in high def. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna assemble this video. Keep one under 30 minutes. Guys, it's Thursday. That means the week's coming to an end. I hope you had a good week. If you have not had a good week, let's figure out why. Let's have a good weekend. Hopefully you have a good Friday. And we will talk again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Freedom Friday. I don't have another RPG, by the way.